Yo, it's L. Aside from the 100 coin stars, I got everything else, so I figured now's a good time to head upstairs. There were a lot of levels to choose from and I wasn't sure where to start. I figured I might as well talk to Toad though and get another one of the castle secret stars. I figured since I was near a tall mountain, I might as well start there. So I start the level off, wasn't sure what star to go for until I saw this one off in the distance. Since I have the wing cap on, I figured I might as well fly over and grab my first star. So I remembered a trick an old friend showed me. You want to start by coming over here and actually jumping off the edge. You'll land on this wind. Yeah, you have to make sure you land just right, but if you do it, you actually get brought up here. So I threw a homeboy off the edge because he might get in the way. This next trick is pretty easy, you just have to make sure you're holding the joystick in the correct direction when you do it. Anyone can do this. Jump off the edge, boot, there you go. It was a bit close for me, but that's the second star. I wanted to try and fly to grab the 4 red coins that were here, but as you can see, I completely failed at that. So I just had to jump across and grab them. Honestly though, the rest of the 8 red coins weren't too difficult to get. And for the last one, when I noticed I was above the star, I thought it'd be cool to try to do a backflip and land on it. Attempt 1 didn't go so well. Attempt 2, I was a bit more lined up. And I know I didn't land on the star, but you know what? Close enough. I was heading for the star behind the waterfall next. And using the wing cap, it was so much easier to get across this level. So I looked around, trying to figure out where I'm gonna fly, how I'm gonna do this. I didn't want to try to do it head on because I didn't think it would work just from trying to jump in there normally. So my first attempt didn't really work. Tried to come in from a different angle, maybe try to fly around. The little footpath in front makes it a bit hard to really, try to get in there properly. It did take me a few attempts. And attempts like that, sometimes something would just go wrong. And yeah, that thing just kept getting in the way. It came close, but no. So I came higher up. I tried to fly out a little bit, just so I could curve around, and I sort of had more time and more space to straighten out. It did pay off, and I got the star. Now, I want to go into the slide area. I did get the star for this, but I wanted to fly around. So just like Peach's slide level, I gained a lot of speed and it's really hard to control. This level, it's probably the most difficult one to fly around in. There's this huge black wall that I can't get through. The only way is the little tunnel. Normally, you just go on the slide and you go through. And with the wing cap, I gain way too much speed and it's so hard to try to fly through there. If you're going too fast, when you pull up even a little bit, Mario will just go all the way up. And it's really hard to try to control and go through there. I thought I would never get through. Eventually though, it took a lot of tries, but I did get through. And what you're about to see is just uncut, unedited of just how crazy this is. Just how fast he's going. And you can see whenever I go up, all that gray smoke shooting out. I just bounce around. I don't know what's going on. I'm only showing this so you can see. And I'm getting bounced around between like invisible walls and stuff. I don't know where I am, where I'm going, what I'm supposed to do. Like, this is just too much. Eventually, I just stop flying and, well, I die. Yeah, like, look at this. I'm going way too fast. Coming up through this tunnel, I realized there's no way I could fly through this. And in the last part, there's another tunnel. Yeah, going that fast, I couldn't do it. And that's where the star is, but like I said, I got it earlier. So I head to the top of the level, and I get the star. So I had one star left, and I actually forgot which one. Once I saw Mystery of the Monkey Cage, I remembered all I had to do was come to the top of the mountain and catch this monkey. Normally, he's not too difficult, but for some reason he glitched out here. Tried to pick him up. Eventually the game let me, but that was just weird. I never really saw him stuck like that before. I follow him down and he shows me where the star is. He laughs and then he jumps on the cage, spins around, and he drops down. So maybe because of where I was standing, I couldn't see where the star was when the camera tried to show me. I wanted to do a blinded backflip, and attempt 1 didn't go well. Just like before, attempt 2 seemed to work. Yeah, I landed right on the star, and that's it. That is all the stars for a tall, tall mountain. Well, aside from the 100 coins. I did decide to go back because I wanted to fly around and see if there's anything else that maybe I couldn't see or couldn't reach before that I forgot about. But honestly, for being called Tall Tall Mountain, this level, once you fly around, isn't as big as it initially seems. The only reason I'm really showing this is because at this part I land and I slid into a bomb and picked them up by accident, which I thought was pretty cool. But aside from that, there's not really a whole lot to see flying around this level. Next, I decided to take on Tiny Huge Island, and things weren't as I expected. Let's just say a few weird things happened to me. I picked the small painting just so I could fly up to the higher part of the level. When I ran by the first secret hole, I decided to go for that star first. And for some reason, I decided to drain the water as well. While I was up here though, I positioned myself so I could jump down and get the next secret hole. Luckily, since I was in the small world, the big fish wasn't here, and I was able to get the next secret hole. I did actually wander around the level for a bit because I forgot the last one was over here. And there we go, star number 1. So, I start the level off again and I fly up here again, then I drain the water again. In order to get in there, you have to become small. So I put on the metal cap and I go through this enemy, only, yeah, he doesn't take damage. I never saw anything like this, nor did I think I would ever see anything like this. I was just so amused. I just kept jumping higher and higher, trying to see how high I could get this Goomba to go. Yeah, things got a bit weird this level. The invisible cap still worked normally though. And even if I put the invisible cap on then a metal cap, it still does no damage. So I go in here thinking this is where the boss fight is. This is why I drain the water. Then I realize no, it's where the red coins are. Luckily it didn't take long, and it has been a while since I've played this, so I did forget that where I had to go was actually at the top of the mountain. And I didn't really need any of the caps for this part. As you can see, I made my way through this pretty easily, and even the last one I could have got normally, but I put the wing cap on just to get to it a little bit easier. And star number 2. So, for the 3rd star, and the 3rd time, I drain the water. Then I become small, and make my way over. While I was up here, I wanted to see if I could take this guy out while I was metal, and turns out I can't damage him. I can't even go through him while invisible. Apparently he can go into the wall, and still grab me. It's just weird, that's 2 enemies in a row that I can't damage while metal. I hate this guy. Then I find the right hole and head in. I decided to try out the invisible cap. Turns out that works. Now the metal cap, this is where things get weird again. I can't damage him. I keep trying to jump on his head and maybe a few times, yeah, maybe I didn't hit it, but I just kept doing it over and over again. As normal Mario, there we go, it damages him. But when I'm metal, for some reason, I just can't damage him. And again, some of the jumps I know may not have hit him, but a lot of these, they should have damaged him. Yeah, I just didn't know what to expect. I thought this would be easy. Put on the metal cap and I could take him out, but no. So I switched to regular Mario and I finish off this boss fight. There we go. There's a star and it's mine. I wanted to do the race against the Koopa, but it wouldn't spawn. Luckily, the Piranha fight, I could use the metal cap and I could damage them. The invisible cap, that one works as well. I can go right through. So I took them out, no problem. And I got the star. I have 2 stars left. I decided to get the one at the top of the mountain. I flew up and I went down the pipe. From there it was pretty easy. I mean, I just make my way up the mountain and there we go. There's a star. Did take me a few jumps to get it, but I got it. Only one left to go. So the race, pretty easy. I mean, he is a Koopa and he is pretty quick, but I can fly. Honestly, it's not really that difficult. And he wasn't really that far behind either, which surprised me. I was actually worried that I wouldn't get the star, that he would say that I cheated. He didn't, and there we go. That's it, I got all the stars. Tiny Huge Island is done. I actually went back because I wanted to try using the metal cap to see if I could take out the giant fish. Ran up to him, I jumped, and I missed. So I took no damage, but it did send me back. And the invisible cap, well, that just gets me eaten. Next, I wanted to try these little things that Lakitu drops. Again, no damage, just sends me flying. I use the invisible cap, or just run around. I put on the metal cap and yeah, sends me flying. Lakitu I can take out. I tried the invisible cap on the Koopa and I can just go through him. If I put on the metal cap, apparently it just puts me on the shell. Still can't take out the Goomba though. I ride around for a bit more. Then I just want to show you one last weird thing that happened to me. I was riding around and I got stuck right here. I've never seen anything like this before. That was weird. And yeah, that's it for this level. Next, I head for Snowman's land. I noticed the mirror and I was curious to see if any of the hats affected Mario's reflection. I did find something weird with the invisible cap. Sometimes Mario's reflection wouldn't be facing the right way. Not like he's a vampire, but it would sometimes face the way Mario does or another direction. I was moving the camera around, which probably caused that to happen, but the other hats were fine though. I then head into the level. My first thought was to try and get the first star, but since I could land on top of this ice thing, I grabbed the star inside. Next, I did make my way up to the top of the snowman's head. Normally, you have to use a penguin here, which can be annoying. It runs, it walks. The penguin's speed changes and you're trying to use it as protection from the breeze, but you'll still get blown away here and there. I found it easier to just fly across, which I didn't think it would work, as I thought the breeze would just blow me away, but that's star number 2. For star number 3, I decided to go for the red coins. Then I remembered, there's a star right here, so might as well get it now. Going for star number 4, I walk around underwater. Normally, this water is so cold it damages you, but while metal, apparently the cold doesn't affect you. After I grabbed the first red coin, I remembered I needed the shell to grab 2 red coins later. And I think going forward, I might get the 8 red coins out of the way first in levels. Didn't need the cap for this star really, but that's star number 4. Next, I decided to do the boss fight. Pretty easy stuff, especially by now. It's what you expect. Vanishing cap, and mostly the metal cap. Knock him out of bounds, and the star is mine. The last star is pretty easy. I just go into the little igloo. I put on the vanishing cap, I run around a little bit just for fun. Then I blindly jump onto the ledge holding the star, and that's that. Snowman's land is done. Next was Wet Dry World. Later in the level, there's a fence like this you can get through using the vanishing cap, but it looks like you can't use it to get through these 2. Next, I wanted to see if I could use a vanishing cap to get through this enemy, or damage it with a metal cap, but I can't, getting me knocked onto the ledge below. I try to fly up using the wing cap, but I come up short. Usually, I just use this enemy to launch me up. I use the wing cap to get into the area you need the cannon for. I even tried to fly out of bounds but couldn't. Then I use a metal cap to walk around the tunnel into the next area. I swim over to the fence I mentioned earlier, where I use a vanishing cap to get through and grab the first star. Next was the 8 red coins. And just like before, I had to fly over to this area and go through the tunnel. I got the first coin pretty easily, then I had to drain the water, making it easier to get around using the wing cap. At this point, I break the boxes and collect the red coins. And that's star number 2. For the 3rd star, I wanted to get the one in this cage. Just had to take the lift down, jump on it, and ride it back up to the star. The next star wasn't difficult at all. I flew back to the cage from before, then I flew back the other way, only heading for this floating island. Whole thing probably took 30 seconds. For star number 5, I had to interact with 5 specific items in this level. I'm trying to see if I can do a ground pound while metal to destroy this box. If you listen carefully, you can hear I activated it without seeing the number or breaking the box. I tried to push this block for the next item, but it wouldn't let me. So I lowered the water, and then I could push it. I tried to fly up again, and it's so annoying that I can't get up with the wing cap. Then again, you can jump up like this. I got 3, no problem. Went back on the cage for number 4. And I couldn't remember where the last item was. So I checked around the level. I knew it wasn't in the other area. But eventually, I did find it. The last star I'm going for is technically the level's first star. All I have to do is fly over here, turn metal, and hit the star box. Yeah, it turns out I can't do that. I'll have to lower the water. I don't know what they're called, but nearby was a thing to lower the water. I then put on the wing cap and flew over to grab the last star I needed for this level. So before I go any further, I double check to make sure I got all the stars. Not counting the 100 coin stars, looks like I got them all so far. And I'm pretty sure I'm not missing any other castle secret stars. Now that I have all the stars I need, I head to the final floor. There were a lot of things that surprised me. For example, the enemy that throws you, it can't take damage from the metal cap, and you can't go through it with the vanishing cap. Also, in Tiny Huge World, there's the Goombas that don't take damage from the metal cap, and that was pretty funny. The Vanishing Cap's weird interaction with like the mirror. There was, yeah, some pretty weird stuff. Even the Wing Cap in What Dry World, trying to get up on some of those ledges, I can't use it. I know like there's some certain jumps and stuff I can do where you use the enemy, and I know I could fly around the other way. There's still ways to get up, but I just thought the ledges there, I'd be able to get up easily. But, yeah, who knows what we'll find on the final floor. Speaking of which, next video I'll do the final floor, and if there's anything I missed, I'll go back to it and include it in the next video as well. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.